Europe's biggest football spectacle kicks off on June 14th, 2024, but who are the favorites to win? And if we're gonna guess, then it makes perfect sense to start with the host nation. You see, Germany are one of the powerhouses of world football and are usually among the favorites to win any tournament that they play in. And yeah, it's true they've not been the same since they won the World Cup in 2014, but they've been host of this year's Europe and will be crazy to write them off. Unfortunately for Hansi Flick, he won't be leading the boys to battle when the tournament kicks off. He was unfortunately axed after a string of not so convincing results and has been replaced with Julian Nagelsmann. In all honesty, the new boss will have his work cut out for him, as anything short of triumph in front of the home fans would mean that he'd share the same fate as Flick. To his credit though, Nagelsmann started well and he did take charge of the first game in October 2023. A 3-1 win over the US put smiles on their faces of the employers, but a draw against Mexico afterwards did little to lift their spirits. Moving forward though, Nagelsmann will have the chance to prove his worth whenever they play their first group match against Scotland. There is a 3-point favor of Germany, and at the end of 90 minutes will surely boost their confidence. Croatia. And speaking of confidence, Croatia is going to be going to Euro 2024 with a lot of it. They finished as runners-up at the 2018 World Cup and third in Qatar 2022. This just goes to show you how hard they've been knocking on the door of a major trophy, and 2024 could be their year. Currently ranked as the 7th best team in the world, Croatia will be led by Zlatko Dalic, who has pledged his allegiance to his country till 2026. They also have Luka Modric, who will certainly be an inspiration for the boys whenever they head into the group stages. Now, you can bet that the 2018 Ballon d'Or winner will only have one thing on his mind: Captain Croatia and leading them to a historic Euro 2024 win. Denmark. As for Denmark, they're going to be hoping they can recreate the miracle of 1992, which was the last time they won the competition. They were underdogs at the time, and you won't be out of place if you feel the same way today. But hold on to your horses, don't write them off just yet. Don't forget that they did reach the semi-final of the last edition, and this will surely give them the great hope going into this year's competition. They really didn't do so hot at the last World Cup, but they sailed through the Euro qualifiers with relative ease. They even managed to beat Slovenia without fielding Christian Eriksen and Rasmus Højlund. Now, if these two players can stay fit till June, they'll offer the Danish side something special in midfield and attack, which I'm sure that coach Kasper Hjulmand will be keeping his fingers crossed. The Netherlands. Now, if any team needs something special to win Euro 2024, then the Netherlands are first in line. They've been called the great underachievers for so long now, and this is the chance to put it all behind. Now they've got Ronald Koeman in charge, and he's one guy who does know quite a bit about winning. As a team, the Netherlands have also come close to winning major honors over the last decade. They've gotten to the World Cup final in 2010 and even reached the quarterfinals in 2022. These boys certainly have the talent to upstage any team when they play at their best. They've had a recent win ratio of 70%, which is nice and clearly shows that they are a tough team to beat. Belgium. Opposing teams will also have to be wary of Belgium, as it's true that they were swept under the rug at the 2022 World Cup, but with a new coach and a renewed mentality, who's to say they won't give their opponents a run for their money? Yeah, there's no Eden Hazard or Dries Merton or even an Axel Witsel. These guys are the past, so the Belgians can only look to what they currently have at their disposal. And who am I talking about? Of course, it's Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, and the other bright lads who are eager to prove a point. Now, any team that has Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku will always be considered dangerous, as they are among the top midfielders and finishers in football today. England. But we can't talk about top attacking players in Euro 2024 without ever mentioning Jude Bellingham. He's been absolutely phenomenal for Real Madrid this season, and Gareth Southgate is going to be expecting him to bring his exceptional form to Germany whenever he represents England at the Euros. But Bellingham isn't the only English player who's going to be a thorn in the flesh of the opposition. There's also Bukayo Saka, who did very well last Euro and will do everything in his power to erase the disappointment of losing in the finals to Italy. Oh, speaking of which, England has recently beat Italy at Wembley during the National League, so if they can beat the current European champions, they certainly have to do what it takes to go all the way. Now, England will have another piece of motivation going into Euro 2024. They've only won one major trophy in their history, which is way back at the 1966 World Cup. It is way high time for another win. France. Another team that's going to be a threat to Italy and pretty much anybody else in the tournament is going to be France. Yeah, sure, they haven't won the Euro since 2000, but they did win the World Cup in 2018, got to the finals in 2022, and have remained one of the most feared teams in Europe. One man has been largely responsible for this, and that is Kylian Mbappe. His goal-scoring prowess will be on full display at the Euros, and he is a potential Golden Boot winner. France is going to be hoping that his goals can shoot them all the way to the pinnacle of the European football once again. And judging by the squad's recent performances, it seems that Mbappe has all the help that he needs to achieve that. Spain. Now, how can we predict the possible winners of Euro 2024 without ever mentioning España? They did win the competition back in 2008 and 2012 respectively. Fast forward 12 years later, and they will be determined to take back the crown they once held for 8 long years. Luis de la Fuente has been put in charge of the team, and judging by his record, he's in the best position to transform Spain's youngsters into title-winning heroes. Players like Pedri, Gavi, and Ansu Fati, and Lamine Yamal are currently playing the best football of their lives, and this can only work in Spain's favor at the Euros. The good news here, though, is that Spain can also count on their crop of experienced players, including Kepa Arrizabalaga, Nacho Fernandez, and Lago Aspas to guide the younger ones along. Portugal. But the team with arguably the most experienced player of all is Portugal. The player I'm talking about is none other than Cristiano Ronaldo, who just so happens to be the most capped player in men's football. Ronaldo is also a past winner of the Euros with Portugal, and considering how desperate he would be to win a major honor before retirement, you could say that Portugal might have a very good chance of winning it all. But there is another plus for the Portuguese. They've also secured the services of Roberto Martinez as a coach. So far, the ex-Belgian manager has won 10 out of 10 matches as Portugal's coach, and that's great form going into Europe's biggest tournament. Martinez is also an expert in blending old and new talent, which means that the likes of Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and João Felix can all function in unison for the Portuguese. Italy. Now, with all favorites to win Euro 2024 considered, Italy still remains the team to beat. Why? Because they're the reigning champs, of course. Unfortunately, they have failed to qualify in the last World Cup, which was a result of a serious dip in form. However, they've been playing very well ever since then, and you can bet they won't give up their title without a hard fight. Oh, and speaking of World Cup disappointment, Roberto Mancini departed as coach and was recently replaced by Luciano Spalletti, who's fresh off a historic Series A win with Napoli. This is definitely good news for Italy because having a coach who still has the spirit of a winner in him only means that he'll squeeze out nothing but the best from his boys. Now, Spalletti's sights may be set on European glory in an attempt to replicate what Spain did in 2008 and 2012, but that is definitely not going to be an easy task. Yet, if he can win Napoli their first Series A title in over 30 years, then I definitely believe that he can make history with his fatherland. But who's saying he can't? Well, don't ask Mourinho, because some players whom he has rejected have also gone on to become legends. That's insane. Check out this video for yourself.